Moving on to the next step of the saga, I've got about an inch in my header. I've got this cut where it'll come down and bend. The funny thing is this is like 8 gauge, it's probably an eighth of an inch. This is really heavy stuff. This was part of an exhaust. You can see part of it I cut up over there. That was in an old Rambler, and this was the original exhaust manifold that went to the exhaust manifold. That's really heavy stuff. You can hear it. It's not just a piece of pipe, but it goes up in here. I'll see if I can get you to look. And that goes up there on that manifold right there. And I don't know if you can see, but it looks to me like it's hitting the frame right up there. Probably is. I can get to these two bolts pretty easy. I think I can get to that front one from the front. And I remember this was really tight putting it in. This side in particular, the other one's not too bad. But I'll probably have to raise this motor up a little. But anyway, I've got that piece in there. You can see there on the block where I had to grind it off to even get the headers in it. It was a big boss there that it just wouldn't clear. But I'm going to fire up the welder and tack this in, and then I'll try to mock up my next little step of the pipe. And once I get that done, I'm going to have to get up in there and see what's going on with the way this is mounted. I might have to take the header off again to get to the motor mount. I'm not sure. I've been dreading this job, but now I'm in it. I'll start welding it up, and I'd like to get some mufflers on this thing. Well, here's what I got. I'm good at coming out of the head good, and it's not the best in the world. I got it a little too low, but basically I got it running just below the frame. I can go under that cross member there. I don't know if I should try running it over it or leave it under it. And down in here, I got my pretty nice curve coming there out of the head. And this is curved pretty good. Looks pretty good up here from the top. So I got my first piece of pipe. Luckily that old exhaust pipe there was curved in the other car, and I was able to use it. But basically it's the same level as the edge of the running board. We'll see here. I may run it under that cross member and put a joint in it. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but my next step would be to get that out of there and weld it up good all the way around. Make sure that whatever I've got down in here, that I can bolt it and unbolt it. Just pressing along, slow but sure. This was a lot of fun. Let's see if I can get you in here. Can't really see from this angle. But I had to take the starter out. Once I got it out, then I was able to put a piece of pipe in there. Let me show you from the bottom. I had got it up in there and propped it with a jack stand. It's all good and tight. As you can see up in there, kinda, but I got it welded onto that flange on the header. There's a few problems here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a freeze plug in the block. Right there, that's almost touching the flange, and I never did cut that thing down, so I'm going to have to cut it off or get a shorter freeze plug or something. And now I gotta try to get this this flange off of here. It's welded pretty solid. I mean, the welds look terrible from here, but I've got them real good and solid. So it'll go back in the same place, and I got it where it's clearing my brake line good. And I'm gonna clean up this motor here and put some paint on it before I put all this stuff back together. But anyway, and then I have to leave this pipe where it's at, because the starter's got to go up over it. So I'm going to make the next section where it'll plug into this, and I can use a muffler clamp around here, squeeze them together. I also have to fix this brace right here. I need to bend it flat and put a bolt in it. Try to clean up this frame in here, squirt some black on it. Got a pretty bad rusted out spot down here in the bottom of the cab. I really can't do much about that now. I don't want to. I've got some, I think this probably was a temperature sending unit. They all go to the dash, and none of them were cut. Boy, that's an ugly weld. I just lumped that on there to hold that bolt in place where I needed it. This is really strong. It's only going a little bit to the fender. Anyway, I gotta do something about this one. Don't know what yet. I'll probably beat it flat and weld a bolt on the frame and bolt it on that. This side ain't too bad. Got most of my bolts in here, but that's the deal of the day. You can see the other one over there. It's curved around nice. I've got them about the same height here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Depends on what shape my other pipes are. But at least I got I guess you'd call it headers on it. I guess I'll try to take this one off first. Get up under there and see if I can get these bolts out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think those are 3/4 and probably 9/16 on the ends. Maybe I can put a pair of vice grips on it and get them from the bottom with a electric ratchet. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I got done on the driver or the passenger side. Well, you can see this stud much better. See that freeze plug is right up against it. Really makes it tough to get a wrench on. I think what I'm going to do is see if I can reach up in there with a cutter and just cut that thing off. I can't. I'm clearing it a little. I can see down through these from the front. I'm not really touching anything, but it's awfully close. I'll address that because it's not touching. That's why I didn't do anything to it. I don't really want to take it off right now because it'll drain all the water out, but I probably should take it off and cut it down where it's pretty flush with the block. I'm not going to take the headers off, so whatever I do, I could just cut half of it off there. But looking at it from here, and by here I mean up here, but I don't know if you can see down in there. I don't know if this camera's focusing or even what I'm looking at. It's way down in the bottom there. You can see it's really not, it's not touching, but it's awfully close. Well, here it is, finished welding. Made a couple passes around it. Not the best welds, but I definitely don't have any holes in it. I'll clean this up a little bit, and looks like it penetrated good all the way around, so this is plenty good for an exhaust pipe. Plenty strong. So now to put it back in, I'll clean it up first, and I may even squirt a little silver paint on it or something. Probably not. But this one's welded and I can put it in. And then put my starter back in. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't hold the starter with one hand and put a bolt in it. Last time I jacked it up, but this time it's going to be on top of this pipe, so I can't jack it. Anyway, enough for today. I'll hit this again tomorrow when I'm a little fresher. Well, I cleaned this piece up and just put a little paint on it. You can see no pinholes or anything in it, so that's good. And then I cleaned up the motor and painted it a little. See down in there, it looks real good. I just cleaned it up where the starter's going in. I still haven't done the top there, but This is just to get what's in there. I got it pretty good all the way around in there. I got a little heater running here to kind of dry it. Kind of cold out here. I'll do some more cleanup and stuff. I want to probably pull them valve covers off there and clean it up and paint it. There's really not a whole lot of need of that, except it has been leaking oil. And anyway, now I can I don't know if I ought to try to put my starter in first. I think I probably can. My starter is kind of really hard to get up in there over that pipe. I think I probably put the starter in first and then try to put that pipe on. It's really, starter's not interfering with my bolts any. I get all three of these from the bottom, so maybe that's what I'll do, is stick the starter in now. That way I can get a jack under it and pick it up. It's almost impossible to try to hold that with one hand and bolt it up. Well, I got it in. I used a little rope here to kind of hold it up, and I actually was able to pick it up with one hand, or pick it up with both hands and then hold it with one. I got a bolt started, so it's in and tight. Now this starter was grinding, or it sounded like it was grinding. I played with it when I first put it in. I couldn't get that noise to go away, and it's not hitting anything. I looked at how to put the shims in and this and that and the other thing, but I'm gonna work on that grinding noise right now. First thing I'll do is unplug the coil wire so it don't start. We'll see what it sounds like. Well, I don't know if I'll just try to set the camera up somewhere. Really got no place to put it. Risking it falling off. Well, that's pretty good right there. Pulled my plug out, so I'm going to throw that back in just to give it even compression. That's good enough. And we'll give it a crank and see what it sounds like. Actually, that sounds pretty good. There's no shims or anything in it. I didn't hear any grinding at all. So that's a delight. Good. Looks like my starter noise is gone. So I can go ahead and try to put this muffler in now. See what kind of luck I have with that. Well, I got this back on. I got the starter up in there. And Can't really see. Yeah, there we go. It was really tough to get to, but you got it in and tightened up. Now I'm gonna try to sort out what's going on here. I've got a couple bend, sort of like that other one over there. But I need to have I need to be able to take out this middle pipe in order to get the starter out. So I just can't weld it up. So I think I got about 3 foot of pipe that'll, you can see I've got the land there. Let me get it propped up here and have another look at it. I got my pipe whacked out. This is going to go up over the cross member. I'll have to cut it off about here somewhere. And I've got this in where it'll go up into my header. I had to cut this and pound on it. Got some pretty rough looking welds in there. So I'll hit this real good again with all my, I might have a couple holes in it, but I'll just fill this up with the arc welder. Grind it down again, and I think I'll throw some silver paint on it. It's kind of a rusty piece, but it fits in good and goes up over the cross member, and right here is where it goes over it. And I got about a foot there. I can cut that off somewhere, probably about where that mark is. And then my next piece will go wherever I'm going to put the muffler. This was quite a bit of work to get this thing done, mostly because nothing was straight in there. But I was able to get it done. I'll weld it up now and move on to the next thing. Yeah, that's cleaned up. Squirted some paint on it. It's some kind of Rust-Oleum 15-minute fast dry stuff, but tell the difference between old rusty pipe. And then I have to cut it off in here. I've got some more exhaust here. So this was in a Rambler that I had, and I think I got plenty of stuff here to get my exhausts in. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do them or anything, but at least I'm going to have about 4 feet of pipe on it. That place I welded there don't look too bad. And it may not be much of a welder, but I'm a good grinder. There it is in all its glory. Goes up over the cross member good. It's just sitting on it now. I'll have to raise it up a bit with hangers, and it's going back about 2 feet past the edge of the running board. So This side's pretty much done. I still haven't decided where they're all dump that exhaust out there by the wheel, or take it all the way to the back. It's going to depend on what kind of pieces I have. I probably ought to stick a muffler up in here, but this side is good enough for what I wanted. I still have to take that one out over there. I thought this was the easy side, but it did take me quite a while because I had to take that starter out, but I guess it was good because as a result the starter quit making that grinding noise. Still need a lot of cleanup. I can probably put some Rust-Oleum in here, or that rust converter. Probably should have done the bottom of these fenders, but I didn't. Well, I'll try to do them with a spray gun, I guess. Anyway, now to go over to that side, fight with that muffler and get it out. That's probably going to be a lot more trouble than this one here was, but not going to get done just talking about it. I tried everything to try to get to those bolts. There's no way. So what I did is I just unbolted the header, which was pretty easy, and I was able to move it back, you know, a couple inches. So looks like I can get to those bolts down in there from the bottom without any trouble. So actually this wasn't quite as bad as I thought, and I'm going to have to put remember that I didn't put a bolt on that motor mount down there, or a nut, but that's a success. Well, I got it out. Wasn't too bad once I took the header loose, and I polished it up a little. So now I start welding it. Well, there's that piece. Welded up, ground down, and I threw a little of that silver paint on it. It's actually a good thing that I took it off. I found a few leaks, well, one leak right in this area where I had made it before, but it's all welded up now. Don't look too bad. Now I'll bolt it all back together. Let this dry a little bit, have some coffee, and then I can put the header back on, and I think I'll put my motor mount in and put the bolt in and tighten it up real good this time, and then I'll put all this back together. Well, I started cleaning this motor up, painted it. I cleaned up my timing mark and painted the line silver. I pretty much got all this motor here. I got the pan good, and looks a lot better than it did. I still have to do the top here around the valve cover gasket, but all in all, I cleaned it up pretty well, and got the bottom nice. Figured I might as well do it while my headers were off. I'll try to get a little black paint down in there on the frame before I put this all back together. But all looks pretty good. And then I can go ahead and put my muffler on it, or my downpipe, and move along here. Looks pretty decent. Looks a lot better than an old greasy motor that I had before. I got it all back together. I fired it up. Runs good. No exhaust leaks that I can hear. It's a little bit quieter, of course, but this front part looked real good. I got the motor mount bolt in it. That was a real trick to get that in there, but you can see the motor looks good front and back. My pipes are good, so it looks a lot better than it did. I still have to, I got some cleanup to do on the other side, and I marked my timing when you stop it, and 3 times in a row it stopped in the same place. But got a little silver paint in my timing mark, and my tab cleaned off good. It runs real good until it gets warm, and then it's sort of missing. I don't know what the deal is. I ordered a fuel pressure regulator for it. I'm thinking about you know, telling how old that cap and distributor is, but probably get another cap for it. Anyway, it's kind of a done deal here. I still haven't really cleaned this side up real good yet. I did paint the bottom there by the distributor, but I haven't got to this front part of the motor. See if I can get a light over here. Yeah, you can see it's not, definitely not, still a lot of dirt and stuff in there. That fuel pump, it's been painted orange. Have to take it off, clean it up so it don't look so bad. But anyway, got my headers on and no exhaust leaks. These headers are not that hard to take loose. I may just pull these headers off of here so I can paint it better. And then this side of the motor will look as good as this one. This one looks really nice. I still got some to do on the bottom down there in the pan too, but just trying to fix what I could while I'm there. I think that's enough content for a video, so please like and subscribe, share, and we'll keep bringing you more content.